All right, we have another game. We have two unknown teams. I have no previous knowledge about these teams, so it's gonna be fun to see how it's gonna play out. And we have another game of the group stages.
So what I do know about these teams is both of them are very excited to be in the tournament. They do play a lot of direct strike.
Hmm.
Haven't seen them too much in in-house, which is probably why we don't recognize their names too much. But this is going to be a very interesting game to watch for sure.
Yes, I think the biggest difference is that if they are the same level, it's gonna be way more closer than, for example, the previous games that we were casting. Okay, let's see what we have. So the top team, we have T2 on the Zerg on the second line, and we have double T2 on PT from Overlord and Space Justice. Let's see how it goes.
Very interesting because you normally don't you normally wouldn't see an immediate T2 from a Protoss in a when they're in versus a Zerg situation.
Hmm. Especially if it's double T2. Yes. On the rare occasions you can do Archon Zealot, but we'll see how it goes. So we
But
have.
interestingly enough, Sandstorm did open Banelings, so the T2 might pay off actually.
Mhm. So we have Marine versus Marine, and the bottom team, Lucky Lenny, took the wave. So the problem with the Banelings, they may. Okay, they didn't. Okay, there's one sentry. I think I know where this is going. And yes, the Sentry Hallucination took it like a champ. So Hellbats from the Space Justice. Okay, we'll see versus Zealots. I think they are reading each other's mind about what units to build.
Very interesting because you would normally not see either of these units being made versus
Hmm.
this race comp.
Okay, let's see if Lucky Lenny uses this team. Okay, he did not. He doesn't have a stream at all. Okay, let's see how it goes.
So the thing is, Akira did go ahead and add in a couple of Reapers, so that's actually going to be an advantage for him.
Yes, yes, that's I agree with that. Reapers are pretty strong versus marine-oriented army. So we have a DT. Okay, let's see how it goes. That they probably are gonna need to scan it. I'm not sure about the Immortal though. Since there are no armored units at the first, that decision may come costly. But they are winning, so that's all good. And the Immortal is gonna do an extra damage on that bunker. So we have.
Silent Storm will need to either start getting some detection or start scanning, or his army will continue to just get run over
Mhm.
by the top.
Space Justice got 4 Marauders to help out with the Stalkers. And since the Stalkers have 0 upgrades and no blink, the Marauder is gonna chew them slowly down, since there's no steam. And it's gonna pull up this way, so the Reapers may actually lose because we have Marine Concave. Yes, as predictable. And Lucky Lenny has 1-1. Okay, let's see where the game goes further. We have a Lurker. Okay, and 2 Banelings died to the Marine League. So Immortals are pretty good versus Lurkers. So this army in on paper should take this down pretty easily. Okay, there's a scan, so there's not gonna be any shenanigans with that. And Bunker is gonna take some base hits from the Immortals. And that's Bunker. That's extra 375 minerals for the bottom team. And Overlord is celebrating and goes with the gas. He popped the champagne already.
Ooh, all three of the bottom team decided to gas. That could definitely hurt them,
Yes, that could.
but it could also pay off later. So we'll see what happens.
Hmm. And currently, Lucky Lenny has to fight 2 waves. He has to fight his own bio wave and the Stalkers from the previous wave. As we know,
Okay,
Protoss
so
Terran
this
stack
could be
is very
bunker.
strong. This is Bunker for sure. Oh, okay, there's an auto blink, so maybe it's not. But probably it is,
Oh
yes.
no, they,
It's
they
just too
just they,
much
they
bio.
can still take it. And the top team decides to immediately gas. So
Yeah, they even each other out.
Yep.
So at least
Well,
I didn't gas at the beginning, so that's a very good
okay, so
sign of the
Silent
game.
Storm does have detection now, so this is going to be trouble for the toss
Yes,
wave.
yes, yes. The problem is the Mutalisks, since there's nothing that shoots up. Mutalisks are happily chewing away one unit at a time. So although I gave the lead at the bottom team at the beginning, the top team managed to turn it around. Let's see where it goes from here. Let's see if they decide to go for any of the Liberators, Ravens, or Mass Stalkers, or on any other possible stacking strategies. Because without stacking strategy, to come back in tug of war game, it's almost impossible. So let's see where the game develops from here. So the Archon Immortal army is usually what we would see in Protoss versus Protoss, but versus Zerg, it's not that super optimal. Usually the meta currently versus Zerg is to go mass stalkers and try to stack blink back and try to stack with the next teammate. There's another option you can do Archon Zealot, but usually Archon Immortal is more like for Protoss versus Protoss build.
Oh, that lack of scan is going to hurt.
Yes, and they are scanning when there's nothing that shoots the lurkers, so it wastes another 25 minerals that they could use later. They need a scan now to kill while there's some units that can shoot at them. And since probably there's a cooldown on T2 player, there's no scan. So Lucky Lenny decides to go, okay, let's go for the second gas so we can come back in the late game. He's going for T2. Let's see what kind of units he gets. I'm suspecting he's gonna get the Raven just to have detection for the lurkers. We'll see how it goes from there. And Silent Storm is adding extra Banelings, extra Hydralisks. He got the second lurker. Ah, that was there already before. Okay, my bad. So we see a Raven from Space Justice. Still, there's nothing that shoots up, so Mutalisks take care of that.
On the negative side for the Banelings, though, they do well versus the following wave the follow-up wave for him. But if the bottom team can manage to push back, those Banelings are gonna be trouble for him.
Yes, unless Overlord adds Zealots. We'll see where the game goes from there, yes. So currently all three players on the bottom side are aggressive position forward, which limits the opportunity to stack. Archons have +2 shield, so they're doing pretty well versus Bio Army. Okay, let's see where it goes from here. Archons dissipate, and now we have 4 Immortals chewing away Hydralisks. Okay, scan. They really need the scan there. Okay, no
Yes,
scan.
they definitely needed to scan there.
Okay, there's 3 Medivacs that maybe could out-heal the army. But there is +2 attack on Stalkers, so Stalker is gonna do a decent damage versus Marauders, which are armored. So we see Cyclones from Akira. And a Ghost.
Definitely an interesting set of units there to bring out at this time.
Yes, that's a good way how to put it. Usually it's considered a bit suboptimal, because from the Terran tier 2 arsenal, what they have available, like Ravens, Liberators, Vikings, Marine Marauder with 2 upgrades, could bring more value out of the field.
I think Overlord's not realizing that his observer is dying. And those scans are critical here.
Yes, if you're not scanning the lurkers can do pretty decent damage. They are doing 24 versus regular units and 36 versus armored. And if there's a lot of marauders, they're gonna do significant damage if not scanned.
Okay, so Red did pick up some tanks, so we have potential stacking power here now.
Yes, and with the medivacs, it could actually help a lot. But since the Protoss doesn't have any biological units, the medevacs are kind of not helping for the next wave. So the Ghost EMP'd most of the Archons. I think that's what the Ghost was for. And it has the increased enhanced shockwaves upgrade. And Anakir goes to T3. So let's see if he gets T3 upgrades or he gets maybe he got inspired by Grumpy Kitten's game and he's gonna get BCs. We'll see where it goes. We have 3 tanks from Space Justice and we have 2 tanks from Lucky Lenny. So I guess they're communicating and deciding that they need to go for the mass tank strategy, which is not the worst. Let's hope they can manage to stack it together. So the Nexus is helping out finally. So they're being pushed into Nexus. But the Storm is devastating. Storm does a lot of shots. A lot of damage versus the biological vehicle.
Ooh, so Overlord decided to get some High Templars.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could have benefited more from Disruptors instead, but
Yes, I would agree. Disruptors are very, very good unit. You almost never see a Protoss game where there are no disruptors. I mean in a highest meta, of course.
yeah, especially since they're being pushed right now. When the High Templars initially come out, they're not able to get off multiple storms. Whereas a Disruptor in this position could potentially shoot more than one time.
Yes, exactly. So the thing about energy units, like one thing that needs to be mentioned in what we mentioned in the balance patches as well. If you're defending, the High Templar doesn't gather enough energy to storm, but if you're pushing, it does. So usually when pushing team gets High Templars quite often, more often than defending team. Okay, we have more tanks and we have more High Templars going on. Alright, so Overlord actually cleared most of the league. And there's a couple medivacs that could help out to heal Zealots if there would be any. Yeah, but top team has a very strong advantage. They have 5 lurkers, 3 swarm hosts, multiple mutalisks, and infestor with the fungal. So they are definitely thinking in the long term how they can manage leak as much as possible in the next wave.
So top team did recently add in 2 more gas also. So let's see if that affects them in any way here.
Since the bottom team already had double gas, now they have 6 gases. The top team should get the second gas just to even it out. That is, of course,
Okay,
considering
so
if they're
this
scanning.
could not be good for the bottom team. It does look like Akira decided to bring out T3 Liberators here.
Mm-hmm. I'm the only one experiencing a bit of a lag, or was it did you got it as well?
I believe it is just you.
Okay, I got a bit of a freeze frame for some second. So the Nexus is getting already damage on the base damage. Multiple tanks are sieging behind the Nexus, so they could actually survive for the next wave as well, until Lucky Lenny comes to reinforce with his units. Okay, they managed to stack the tanks together. Let's see how it helps. Because there's a lot of Stalkers with the auto blink, it actually could do a massive damage versus the Stalker rate.
And it doesn't look like he did any storms there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the I didn't notice, but maybe High Templars feed back to all the medevacs and they run out of energy, which is a common thing. So Akira decided to go for mass T3 Liberators versus Archons.
So this is where we're going to run into the problem. They did do a nice stack here, but those Liberators are just... Oh, the Archons didn't do so bad this
Yeah,
time.
since the Liberators are all squished up.
Okay, let's see
Okay,
if they can...
this is actually very dangerous. They could push here. They need to scan the lurkers though. They really need to scan those
Yes,
lurkers.
that
Okay,
scan.
there's a
Oh,
scan.
so there's a scan.
They scanned before the siege tanks unsieged, which is very, very good. And there's multiple tank stack that actually could help to
That
wreck the
is a lot
stalkers.
of tanks, and that is very good versus this army
Yes,
that...
and both tanks have +2, so they're gonna do a lot of damage there. Okay, they are leapfrogging forward. And I think they pushed. They're pushing here. And
This is very, very good for the bottom team now.
yes. But the problem is the libs. Let's see how the libs go. Okay, there's
Those
a
lives
Raven.
are
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
The leaps are a big problem, but there's enough Marines, I think.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
There is definitely a lot of Marine.
Still, so very close though. I
It
think
yes.
the
It's
sure
very
is.
units just
dangerous. I guess
yeah.
Monkey, you were right about the double gas is gonna bite them in the soft space.
Well, they decided to double gas right when Lucky Lenny went T3, so that was a lot of mineral loss at one time.
Hmm.
It could still pay off for them, but
But the
if
banelings
the
all
bottom
died. Look.
correct, yeah, that's
Mhm.
what I was mentioning earlier is that their Overlord has so many Archons that the Banelings are gonna just
Okay, this is
die.
very good for the bottom team. Let's see if they can hold the lead, and let's see if they get correct units to close out the game.
They are going to need to address those Liberators because it does look like he is adding more.
They're going T3, like both Tyrants are going T3, so there's gonna be, I suspect there's gonna be Thors coming out next wave.
Okay, yep, that is good. As long as they can hold off this Lib stack.
And the Stalker stack, so they managed to stack two waves together. But the bio get diminished by siege tanks, so there's a lot of bio from Lenny, which is correct. He got +3 on bio, which is very good. And if the Raven could use the anti-armor missile, that would be even perfect. But since I don't think he's microing those units. Okay, let's see where it goes here. Okay, Overlord got carriers, and let's see he got this. Okay, he got the storm off from the Mutalisk. It's very good.
So now that the matchup, Overlord is actually meeting his opponent directly. It is actually looking good for them here.
Yes, yes, that's exactly right. This is very good. The carriers are +0 though, so probably they're not doing any damage versus Stalkers with +2 armor and Sentry Guardian Shield. But in the future, it's a good investment to get some air attack upgrades if you have multiple carriers. So we still don't see any Thors, and that could actually be a problem in the wave 1 or 2.
Yes, if Space Justice got some just even one Thor or a couple Thors to hold off his tanks while Lenny comes, then that could seal the deal here.
Yes, they definitely need to start thinking either with Vikings or Thors. This is very good, and they have 6 gases as well, so they're not behind that much on mineral income. Overload could really benefit from some wireless to just DPS down those Corruptors. But since Corruptors have 0 armor, then 0 plus 0 carriers are actually doing some damage. The siege tanks are devastating to the Stalker army, since they are now immortals, and they are now immortals and
Also, I
not enough
just took
slots.
into notice
Yeah.
that Brickster did make 7 High Templars to deal with the bio, which he is no longer fighting. He is also, like you mentioned earlier, on his own side, so that's actually hurting them right now as well.
Yes. High Templar is a very expensive unit. I'm not sure if all people recognize that it's almost like half a minute of income of worth of unit. So we have already 4 carriers, and we have how many Archons? We have like a full line of Archons, and more carriers are coming up. Carriers are definitely a good game closing out unit, but you could benefit from some air attack upgrades, Overlord. So still no Thors. Oh, we have a first Thor from Loki Lenny. So first Thor is out. He has a decent amount of bio. He has 5 lines of Marines, which is very, very good.
Ooh, it does look like the top team is building a stack here, though. Can this... Can Lucky Lenny hold this down, though?
Okay, the Liberators are...
That
The one
Thor...
Thor is chewing away those
Yes,
Liberators.
yes, that Thor saved that
Save the
wave
day,
just
yes.
now.
So Archons have +3 attack, so they're definitely doing their heavy lifting. And Immortals are They really need the scan. They really need the scan there because the
Oh my god. I think that's me.
the overseer gets stuck behind the corruptors.
The one thing I did notice that Overlord was not doing though is even if he has an observer, he does need to start scanning the wave because the lurkers are not being hit.
Hmm. Okay, they are stacking massive amount of army now. Let's see if they can close. Okay, the siege tanks. Okay, let's see. Let's see. The liberators are scary. The one Thor is not gonna kill all the libs.
On the one good thing is that he does have a lot of bio, but that is a
Yes.
lot of libs.
Hmm.
That is a lot of libs.
In high numbers, the liberator is gonna chew down the Thors. In high numbers, if they can siege on the target. Thors have more. They have, I think, equal range on air ground versus ground air.
And you know,
Okay,
we normally
the carriers are carrying it. They have +1 and they're chewing through the hydralisks. Okay, we have anti-armor missile, we have double Thor. But the storm is devastating. The 7 High Templars are paying off when you're fighting at the middle. But Rickster really needs some immortals with his army there. Okay, the bottom team is pushing again. They have Tempest stack, they have Stalker stack, and the Liberators, mass Liberators coming versus... Oh, there's no siege, no siege! Oh, I think this is again a turnaround. If the Libs did not siege, then this bio wave is just gonna clear everything that they see in front of them. What a turnaround! What a turnaround!
that is
This
definitely
we
a
did.
good. I mean, this is a good game to be watching right now.
Yes, I really did not expect this turnaround. So one miss micro from Akira, and they are back in the game. Okay, they really need the scan again. Scanning is very important. And carriers have +2, so they can definitely do a lot of damage to stalkers. Yep,
What do you
that
think about that amount of Tempest, though? Do you think that's a good idea?
no. I don't think the Tempest is very good idea when you have Terran with Thors coming in. But I think they don't have a choice. They could definitely benefit from more immortal type of an army, like when it comes to Rixer. But I think he was getting Tempest because he was trying to kill the carriers. But the problem with the carriers is they are not in his wave. His wave is Terran, and Terran comes with Bio, with Ravens, with Thors, and Tempests are gonna be very sad against Terran composition. So let's see if they can manage to stack again with the quality lib micro. So the Stalkers have +333, and Tempest have +3 attack on air. With the help of the Planetary Fortress, they actually could maybe stack the Tempest. That could help a lot, but the Thors are probably gonna clear them out, or even Carriers are gonna clear them out. So this is not really looking good for the top team currently.
That is a lot of tanks.
That is a lot of tanks, and Bio gets melted in the tank line. That's why when you join the army, you don't want to be a marine, you want to be an officer. And we have 4 Thors with +3, so they're gonna chew everything they see in their order, and the tanks as well. Since their tanks were siege, they could really benefit from the scan there. They could almost clear almost all of the lurkers there. But I guess they're being economical. They don't want to. They save 25 minerals and get more units next way, which is a strategy as well. And look at the carrier with +3. Overlord turned the carrier knob to 11 and just pulled out the knob. So Space Justice could really benefit from some tank micro, so they don't siege, unsiege, siege, unsiege. They could do some more damage. But
It
currently
does
they're
look like
winning. they're winning.
It
So
does look
it's
like
good.
Akira is hoping to potentially gain income. He did just get another gas,
Hmm.
so he could possibly be hoping for the income win at the end, or
Hmm.
possibly just gaining an income advantage to push back.
Well, since it's a third gas, it's gonna pay off quite late. So he got it at 24-minute mark. So there's a tier 4 coming in. So the bottom team, all three gets tier 4 right at the bat. The top team as well. Let's see if they finish up the second upgrade, which is a tricky thing, and usually people forget. Okay, the bottom team got the second upgrade. Top team only Akira got. And I suspect they don't have enough minerals to get the second upgrade yet. Okay, and Terran with Thors and plus tier 4 speed upgrade, which gives 10% attack speed, is gonna do a lot of damage to those libs.
The fact that Akira has his placement where his libs are in the front and his army is in the back is giving yellow a free hit at their planetary fortress as well.
That's true. And it's giving Thors a free hits to the Liberators as well. Yes, and Corruptors have +1 armor only versus tier +3 carrier. So basically, as a Corruptor, you want to have more armor, but since they half the wave is evaporated before they even touch Archon Corruptor, Archon Carrier, it's kind of hard. Like one thing, what the top team could do, they could benefit from some more disruptors, so they could try to wipe out the bio wave, and they could benefit from more immortals. So basically, oh, and Akira again did not siege in time. Maybe that's the ping that's causing it. Okay, that's
And
GG.
that is the game. That was very exciting game.
Yes, very exciting game. Back and forth, back and forth. Very exciting game.
But congratulations to the top team here.
Hmm.
Very good.
Very good.
Sorry, bottom team.
Yes, congratulations. Well played. Well played.